As caregivers to our parent, communication can be one of the most difficult parts of it. For most of us, if we have a good relationship with our parent, we try to connect with them. And for some of us who don't have a great relationship with our parent, we still have to try to connect with them at some level if we're their caregiver. But have you ever stopped to think about the idea of verbal versus nonverbal communication? The science behind communication is really interesting. Verbal communication supposedly only accounts for like 7% of what comes across to the other person. 93% of our communication is done non-verbally. So verbal communication is the words we're actually using. Nonverbal communication is things like our body language, our tone of voice, the environment we're in. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. I'm Tammy Provenzel. I'm a physical therapist and a life coach for caregivers. And I make these videos because I hope that some of these ideas can actually help you in your caregiving role. So nonverbal communication includes things like tone of voice, the environment, our body language. And the scientific reason that nonverbal communication is so powerful is because in our brain we have these things called mirror neurons. So if we meet somebody or we're hanging around with somebody, we have these mirror neurons in our brain that want to mirror the other person's emotions and mood. Because when that happens, then we feel really understood. And this is true even when we're dealing with someone with dementia. They still have these mirror neurons. I use this idea all the time when I'm working with people with dementia because you can see how powerful it really is. So if you're calm and relaxed, your parent is more likely to feel or mirror that calmness and relaxation. When we communicate with our parents, it's really easy to forget, and often we feel like we don't have time to think about these things, like the tone of voice that we're using or the body language that we're using. But you can start to think about those things before. You can actually practice it in your mind, and that'll help you in the actual situation. So here's 3 strategies you can start to practice in your mind. The first one is to slow down, both in your voice, in the words you're using, and in your body. That gives your parent time to process what you're trying to communicate. The second strategy is to use body language. So sitting across from your parent, making eye contact, sitting next to them and putting your hand on their leg or holding their hand. Those things say way more than any words we could say. And the third strategy is to be consistent with your verbal and your nonverbal communication. So we want our nonverbal communication to match the verbal things that are coming out of our mouth. Doing that creates trust and like a calming effect, because what you're saying is the same as what you're showing or demonstrating. So let's say you're trying to get your parent to take a shower. So if you say to them, "It's time to take a shower," the words are pretty benign. The tone of voice I use, though, has an edge to it. So if instead I sat down next to mom, I held her hand, I said in a very calm voice, "I'm going to help you take a shower now," she's going to sense that she can trust me, and it's going to help her to stay calm. So to summarize, nonverbal communication like touch, tone of voice, body language are tools that you can use as a caregiver to help you to maintain a good connection with your parent. And what that will do is it'll help your parent to be more agreeable more of the time. It doesn't mean that they're always going to agree with you, but it's amazing how often they will. So try some of these strategies. Practice them before you're actually in the situation. And in the comment section, let me know how it works. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe.